All right, so let's move on and talk about payments banks. And we all know how many payments banks actually became very successful. Very few of them. In fact, one of them, which has become very successful and now is setting their eyes on small finance bank license as well, and that is Rishi Gupta, MD CEO of Fino Payments Bank, who's joining us. Rishi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. I must say, this entire payment bank experiment of the system, you have really done a great job. Many couldn't. And now I was just comparing, this quarter, the way you have turned this quarter, you are en route to almost 80 crore of profit for the full year, versus say 65 crore roughly, give or take 5% last year. I mean, we all are reading about your plans of moving into a transition into a small finance bank. When it does actually happen, how does the profitability outlook change or improve? What meaningful change actually happens then for you?
Thank you, Ajay. As a couple of questions rolled into one thing, let me just try to answer each one of them. So, from a Fino Payments Bank point of view, we have been doing this business for the last 17 years. 6 years back, we got our license to convert into license to get a payments bank. And under the payments bank model, we set up a very asset-light, scalable merchant ecosystem model. Because of the fact that we offer multiple products to our customers are largely people who are the common man of the country, people in the middle income or low middle income segment of the country. So we have been scaling up this business in a very cost effective as well as focusing more on the distribution and kind of technology and partnerships which we have built up. Coming to your question specifically on the SFB transition, so we have just taken the first step. The first step is to take a board approval. After the board approval, we will apply to RBI. Post that, RBI will look at the application and then give a view on the application. After that, there is a time of 12 to 18 months from in principle approval to a final approval in which you can set up the teams, technology, if there's a capital requirement. So it's all in all will take about 24 to 28 months is our expectation before we move from a payments bank to a small finance bank. Under payments bank model, we've been largely focusing on the transaction ecosystem, also adding liabilities through the ownership model as such. What it offers us from a payments bank to an SFB is a payments bank plus plus. When I say plus plus means that the restrictions on the liabilities of 2 lakh rupees, some other business restrictions which are there in payments bank is not there in SFB goes away. Secondly, it also makes us eligible to offer small value loans under the SFB guidelines, which means that the customers which we have, we can offer them loans. The merchants who are there on our ecosystem, we can offer them loans. We already have 82 lakh plus customers. We have 14 lakh plus merchants. Our expectation is that over the next 2-3 years, that 82 lakh customers will become 2 crore plus, that 14 lakh merchants will become to 20 lakh plus. So there's a good ecosystem within Fino to look at the SFB transition as such.
Clearly, I understand. I am not assuming that it will happen overnight. In this 24-month period, there is also those sense on the street and among some of your, admirers, if I may say though, that the probability of you getting the license is 99.99, because they say that RBI will actually reward you for your work, and they would nudge you to become a small finance bank, actually the kind of work you've done. So, well, of course it's all about probabilities, but I want to understand what is the sensitivity when the business becomes of that scale and the new channels open up. Then how many more levers of incomes actually open up? That was the point I want to understand from you. So you have indicated.
Well, I'm happy to hear what you are saying, but we'll have to look at from an RBI point of view. We can't put any probability to getting the license, but yes, we have been quite successful in our payments bank. Also went public 1.5 years back, were one of the first ones to get a scheduled license and also becoming profitable. So we have a good credentials, so to say. The lines of business which opens up is that within the payments bank, the 2 lakh rupee limit constrains us from opening more current accounts. So we can go and open more MSME accounts. When we open more MSME current accounts, we can also offer them small loans, which will become eligible under the SFB guidelines. Also, the fact that the 2 lakh rupees restricts me to work with more corporates on the B2B payments ecosystem. That will also open up a new line of business. Then the third line, obviously, is the lending line, which will give us substantial growth in the way we look at because of the ecosystem which we have already created. I would like to mention here that the liability is one of our key focus, and it has been growing at a substantially good rate. And the cost of liabilities, because most of it is current and savings account, is less than 2.5%. Because of our ability to raise low cost liabilities at a very low rate, the benefit of that will actually get passed on to the consumer when we look at the lending rates, which are going to come post the SFB transition. So the benefit will be there for the customers. Our NIM is expected to be significantly better than some of the other banks because of the low cost of liabilities which we can raise. So that will result in multiple lines of revenue, both on the payment side, the liability side, the current accounts, as well as the lending side.
She will let you go on that one. Good job of this quarter as well, but also giving us a insight of what lies ahead. And that's why the viewers who are watching this interaction should, look at the 24 to 36 month period of what this entity can transform into, rather than what they have delivered just this quarter. All right, Rishi, thank you very much for your time. We'll chat up again. But